This last week I had the opportunity to play Prodigy Presents Waco, the first Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus event of the year, and my first kind of real Pro Tour experience. Big shout out to Prodigy, the presenting sponsor, who I do have a relationship with through my channel. They send me stuff to review. No money exchange hands, but they did give me an exemption to get into the tournament. And I want to take you through the whole process, being there, the highs, the lows, and the big main takeaways from the week, which were pretty awesome. As a part of Prodigy getting me into the event, I'm wearing their hats. We got a beanie, which hopefully we don't need this weekend. Let's be real. Then we have a Dallas Stars A2, Fractal A2 maybe? Seal's tougher than the A2 I have right now, so we're definitely gonna be trying that out. Oh, Vinyl Makala Signature Series. I'm gonna have to take some of these out in the course. I'm about to go play Lake Waco with AB, and then we got the one-time Isaac Robinson A2. So we got some A2s. Sir, can you sign my disc? Waco? No, I don't even have a Waco, dude. They just gave me a bunch of A2s.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, you throw these?
I don't. I throw the white special blend. So that's not it. That's it.
Ooh.
Signed by Magnus Carlsen.
That's incredible, dude. What?
My favorite disc in my bag.
New signature goodies?
Oh yeah.
FX4s. You throwing it this weekend, you think, or you gotta give it time?
Maybe like one more week. I'll probably be throwing it at Austin.
Okay.
So
that's exciting, man.
Yep.
Congrats. It was awesome getting to meet a lot of new friends like Isaac Robinson. We do have practice rounds up live if you want to check those out. And then also like Anthony Barella and some other really cool people. Videos that you'll see coming out here pretty soon. But there were also some old friends there like Braden Sides and Joey Buckets, and they have a cricket. And I had never ordered jerseys from Infinite because I didn't think I was going to be playing Pro Tour events this early. Didn't even necessarily think I was going to be getting into this one. But when Prodigy said yes, I was like, whoa. And so luckily Braden was able to make me some shirts really fast.
What about that, right there?
Beautiful.
You like it?
Oh yeah. Guys, I'm on the team. I'm on the team.
Oh, why is Paul Bogey this hole?
I need to get the lucky
Random skip out of the woods.
It's ready. Now you just gotta.
Oh my gosh, that's satisfying.
Isn't it? Now you just hope that you did it hot enough that none of it wants to come off. I think we did. I think we did it absolutely perfectly.
Hey, we is a little of an overstatement. This is all you, baby.
Hey, come on, man. Okay, that looks freaking good. Can I have this shirt actually?
Yeah, dude, go. I'll reach out to Infinite on your behalf.
Oh, this man's on Team Infinite.
Am I ready to
You're ready to hit the Pro Tour, I
shoot
think.
ball down tomorrow, maybe?
I think so.
If I do, it's all because of you.
That's right.
Just know that. So I went to bed pretty confident and excited for the next day, knowing that at the Beast I didn't really have a super solid game plan, especially at the wooded holes. And this is one of the things that I learned after this whole entire week was trying to balance the content as well as my play, because I knew that I wasn't going to be at all the Pro Tour events. So it's not like, oh, I have another shot guaranteed next week. Meet a lot of new people, make a lot of new friends, shoot a lot of content. And I think because of that, I ended up not having a super solid practice round where I game planned for the Beast. Waco was slightly different, Lake Waco, because I played that with Isaac and Gannon and we were all learning the course. But all of my rounds at the Beast were just basically fun videos that were kind of practice, kind of not. But I felt confident in myself that if I could just get out of the woods holes, even par, play safe, everything would be fine. And so I woke up pretty excited for the day. All right, today is the first day of Waco. Getting ready to head out. It's hard to not have expectations, but I'm trying to just remember that the point of this is just to have fun. If I have fun, I'll play well. I don't know, I'm lowest rated in the tournament. There's no expectations on me, or there shouldn't be, just based on like numbers, but I know like juggling that and then you guys as an audience who I want to like make proud, it's tough. But I'm playing with Simon, Zach Melton, and Mason Marchbanks. So it should be a fun card. It's supposed to rain. We're here and we're nervous, baby. Morning, boys. Well, Ding Ding has arrived.
It's time for our 12 o'clock card. Representing Infinite Discs, Anthony Potenza.
It was a lot of fun being on a card with Zach and Simon and Mason, who were all there, but every card that Simon is on is going to have a gallery. So that was a little nerve-wracking. However, I was able to throw a really solid shot with my MV into kind of a head cross, make a putt to get started with a birdie. And I'll overlay a lot of shots from this round, but I went on to bogey the next hole from 35 feet for birdie. I 3-putted that one. Parred hole 3 after thinking my FD1 would fade out, and it just did not at this elevation. I really didn't fully understand what all of my discs were doing, as we talked about am I in the bag, and so I don't know if that FD1 got thrown again. Missed this putt for birdie on hole 5, got hole 6 with a really solid circle 2 putt, and then went par double bogey on a very easy hole, the shortest hole on the course. All right, we just finished up a rain delay, or lightning delay, something. Day 1, through 8 holes, have taken my drive on the 9th. I'm 2 over, which is significantly worse than I'd expect to play out here. I definitely thought I'd be doing better than this. The goal was just no bogeys, and I've taken 2 bogeys and a double. just trying to really iron into my brain that this is like a learning experience and I don't have to play well, but that means I should just play to my ability and try to learn, because it's been a little interesting. I'm having to relearn how to putt and how to throw. I'm shanked 6 out of my 9 tee shots so far. Yeah, try to get back under par. I'm 2 over. I would love to be 3 down, but that's getting half of these holes, which is possible, but get under par. Par, birdie on 11, which you see here. And then I tripled hole 12, the last hole in the woods, from a perfect drive, 4 over par. And I knew that this is a course that people shoot 8, 9s, 10s to win the tournament. My goal was to shoot 4 or 5 every round to try to give myself a chance to make the cut. Luckily, getting out of the woods, we go to hole 13, and these are holes that I'm much more confident with. Felt like I had a better game plan for these holes, and so I'm able to birdie 13, and then we go to 14. I throw a really good flex forehand that basically parks it. I make about a 10-foot putt for that. Hole 15, you're seeing as well. I'm able to birdie that one. 16 is pretty tough, so I was okay with the par there. And then hole 17 came, and I take my stable Emperor, throw it on a forehand. Doesn't really end up skipping too much. I was worried that I actually juiced it high into the tree branches, but it snuck just under those. I'm able to throw my Scepter, and every time that I had thrown this second shot in practice, it had rolled away into the water. And so I throw the shot. I thought I left it inside enough. I run around the corner just to barely see it, cresting that hill. It skips, it bounces, and luckily instead of hitting an edge, it just kind of flops straight down. I'm able to make that putt, take a birdie on 17, 18, straight headwind. This is the only wind I'd ever played this hole in. I know I'm not getting there, but this is the heaviest headwind that I've ever played it in. But I never practiced the short layup, so I was like, shoot, I have to try to cross. So I ripped my stable Emperor on a little bit of a flex, ends up perfect, pitch up, a little bit scary because I didn't let it land flat. I landed it on a slight hyzer, kind of bad upshot, and tap in for a 3 on that hole, getting me back to even after being 4 over through 12. I was able to get back to some even, which feels good after taking a triple before I got out of the woods to get that back. It's like 4, I think that's 4 of the last 6 then, which I'm very happy about. 17 was a good birdie. It puts me way down here. Finalized, they call it 979 event rating, which is what it is. It felt like a terrible round, so of course it was, but not quite at the bottom, which is good. Thanks, man.
Alright, so I just showered tonight. Just gotta clean up the mistakes. Play safer. I talked with Gannon at dinner tonight about, he's like, yeah, dude, just play safe and like, you'll be fine. Like, it was very reassuring because he basically was telling me with how good I've seen you be this week, like, you can still make the cut. Like, it's still possible. I don't know if he believes that or if that's what he's trying to say to make me feel better, but I've gotten really positive feedback from everyone that I played with. It's like, wow, you can actually play disc golf. Did not prove it today, but I'm gonna be picking up Drew in the morning because somehow I got him by a few strokes this round. So, but I'm excited that I have at least 2 more days, and then worst case scenario, I guess try to qualify for Austin on Monday. So, all right, day 2, getting started. I got a banana and tortilla. It was rain, so we got pushed back about 30 minutes. Tee off at 10:20, very early in the morning. For these type of events, this course is going to be definitely a score separator. So if I can just keep it clean, keep it between the lines, I'm hoping to play well. But again, this is just good experience, good learning, hopefully figuring it out. So somehow I beat Drew in the first day. So he played in the card in front of me. I was on second to last card. He was on the last card, and so we get to see him boom this drive on hole number 1 at Lake Waco. The way he throws is insane. Maybe one day. You're gonna bark. I end up throwing a really solid shot with my Roman, puts me exactly where I want to be, and I'm feeling a little more confident today. I've like, okay, whatever. This is a course I'm better at than the Beast. Let's just throw this up shot, and I absolutely shank it out of my hand. It just comes out early, skips, but I'm still confident stepping up to about a 55-footer. I'm like, let me just drill this, you know, set the tone, have it be good, a little tailwind, end up drifting it out there, and I hit high in the cage, so still pretty good. Moving to hole number 2, which I throw a pretty solid drive. This is the one that's got about a 400-foot water carry. Throw it all the way over that water carry, feel great about it. Throw a perfect up shot to just outside the bullseye and make that putt. And the name of the game today, after talking with Gannon after the first round, was just like, don't make mistakes. Or don't bogey. Not don't make mistakes, but just play safe. But I end up not throwing a good drive on hole 4. Getting up and down for a par though, which is fine because that hole is very tough, probably the hardest hole on the course. Hole 5, I ended up shaking it into a tree and ended up getting up and down for par, where I definitely should have just thrown the wide hyzer and taken a 2 because I almost aced it in practice. Hole 6 and 7 are kind of weird 440-foot holes, probably the worst holes on the course in my opinion. I ended up parring both of those. Hole 8, I threw an all right shot and I hit off the band for about 50 feet, unfortunately. And then hole 9, I threw a shot that I didn't even think I could throw anymore, and I shanked one straight right out of bounds. Or straight left out of bounds, right after Drew throws this phenomenal shot. It was interesting because we did have to wait a little because
they were the card right behind the FPO League card where Kristen, Ella, Haley King, maybe, and Owen probably were playing. So we had a nice long wait where it was fun to be able to watch everybody throw. But then I step up to my shot and I'm trying to read the wind and I just end up not committing. My emotions kept getting heightened because I was seeing like the whole tournament and whatever slipping away from me. Instead of being calm and knowing like, hey, there are so many holes left. I can still birdie every single hole out here. Some of them will be very hard, but I have the capability to. So just like calm down. I wasn't being very calm. And because of that, I ended up bogeying hole 9. I threw my upshot to about 35 feet and just airballed low. I bogeyed hole 10, which is the easiest hole on the course in my opinion. It has to be one of the easier ones, the par 5. I threw my second shot, tried to go through a gap and hit a tree, and then I tried to get way over aggressive on about a 510-foot shot, and I put it out of bounds. If I would have turned a little more, it would have been good. But unfortunately, I just put a little OB, pitched up, take a 6. I ended up parring hole 11 and then get into hole 12 where we watched Drew throw out of bounds, just barely doesn't come back, and then he's, I don't know, 560 feet out from the green, slightly downhill, and he just takes his new Radiant, the glow interval that he has, and just like mashes on it, dude. And he got, I don't know if he got up and down, but he landed safe. He probably didn't go up and down, he probably still took a bogey, or maybe a double, but man, was that a cool shot to be able to watch. I throw my shot inbounds, and I have a forehand into the green. It's about 390, 400 feet. It's slightly downhill, and there's a right to left. So I'm debating between my stable Emperor and my Island Emperor, which is pretty glidey, but it does have some late stability. And I end up throwing my Island Emperor instead of my stable Emperor because I'm like, this is going to help me get over on the forehand. My forehand has not been coming out well, and I threw the forehand well. And since this shot, I've actually been throwing forehand significantly better. But this one went pretty OB, but it would have easily gotten to the basket. And so I was like, what the heck? And so pitch up for a bogey. Hole 13, I take a par after barely getting out of the gap and then throwing what I thought was a really good upshot, just didn't skip very hard. Hole 14 was probably my favorite shot of this round. I'm taking my Metal Flake Color Glow Dynasty and just kind of ripping it on a slight hyzer, 375 feet, low ceiling, and I just put it to about 10, 15, 20 feet and I'm able to make the putt. Unfortunately, after that, I go bogey on hole 15, par on hole 16, which is fine. It's a tough hole. I end up throwing a pretty safe drive, not really trying to butt off too much. I birdie hole 17 with also my glow interval, so that's pretty money. And then 18 is pretty tough. I ended up throwing a big wide hyzer and hitting it pretty hard, and I thought I threw it really well. Threw it really high and let the wind kind of mess with it a little bit, and I wanted to just get left or right of this tree, which you can see I am dead inside of. I'm dead inside at this point too in the round. But if I'm 5 feet left, 5 feet right, I have a nice swing to try to get a birdie, worst case get a par. Unfortunately though, I didn't have that, so I'm just like, let me just play to the left side, keep it safe, not really mess with the golf green. So this looks like I kind of shanked it because of the angle that my wife who was caddying for me. Big shout out to her, and shout out to everybody who reached out to try to caddy. When she's around, I think she likes to caddy, so she'll be there for most of it, but I do still have that form, so thank you guys for that, and I'll reach out to you guys if I do need caddies. Ended up pitching left, and I just kind of shanked an upshot with my scepter. Those like short scepter shots, I've not been very good at. I think I need to trust being firm on an A2 or maybe even a zone instead of trying to like short a scepter. And then I miss a putt, which I thought I definitely made, actually just kind of dropped a bit and take a bogey to finish out. And 3 over in another not great round, 976 rated. All right, so I'm finally getting around to editing this Isaac practice round. I have some stuff with AB that's gonna come out probably after this video even it comes out, which I'm super pumped for, which is kind of practice for Waco, but also just like fun videos. I try to make it a mix of those, that way I can kind of put them up whenever. These last couple days just have been rough, getting off the course and just again shooting really bad. Not in last, but like I'm playing like a last place player, man. I know I'm playing worse than my skill, but this is really teaching me that like skill isn't the most important thing, because everybody here has all the shots. So it just comes down to being a good golfer, having the mentality to be able to push through and execute the shots under pressure. Because when your body tightens up, when you're nervy, just threw so many shots that were just like mistakes that I would never ever dream of making. Like even if I'm the most tired person in the world, I'm not making that mistake, and I made tons of them today. Massive shout out to all the volunteers who are out there. The scorekeeper who we had put me in circle 1 for a couple of my circle 2s, which I'm like, come on, my circle 2. I only missed 2 of them today. I missed 2 of them both days, but it shows like 50% because I was 5 for 9, even though a couple of those were like 35 footers. They're out there for free doing disc golf stuff on a Friday early morning. So massive shout out for them being out there. Just one more round. I mean, I'm not making the cut for sure. It's been a good experience, and this is definitely something that like I'm just trying to get every opportunity that I can to get these experiences, because you can't replicate experience. You just have to be there to do it. And as someone who doesn't have like a background in high-end competitive stuff, like I don't know how to work through these emotions yet. And so that's something that I'm gonna have to figure out experientially. And this week is just a testament to that. So hopefully tomorrow I can go and play loose. It does remind me a lot of my first tournament rounds of last year, 303 Open, where first two I was so scared and playing tight. And then I was like, let me just try to birdie everything. And then that went better. And so I don't know if that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm just going to try to go out there, be looser, and trust my game more, or try to. And I mean, there's nothing to lose. I'm 3 over par, shooting 970 something disc golf. Like, it's awful. And I know that my goal is like a long-term goal. It's not like I'm not coming out of the pro scene to like crash it this year and win. It would be really silly for me to even think if there's a possibility I'm the lowest rated player in the field. So if I don't take last, like statistically, that's a win. Of course, I wanted to do as best as I can, and this is not that. But I also know that these experiences that I'm getting now are going to form the next 2-3 years as I try to get on tour and make this a reality. So no matter what, Sunday I'll be able to chill, maybe watch some coverage, maybe film some stuff with Drew if he doesn't make the cut. The cuts are getting harder and harder to make. Like this year, dude, people are playing so good. Like big names not making cuts. I'm really seeing kind of the level that I need to get to. So probably a lot more like flex starts and random stuff just to get my mentality up there, because I think that will help. Because it'll put more pressure, because I do care about my rating, and it's suffering at this tournament because I've been playing like trash, so hopefully we can fix it tomorrow. Lots of learnings. Definitely don't feel like I was fully prepared, but I didn't really expect to get in this tournament until I reached out to Prodigy, and then they're like, oh yeah, you can. I was like, whoa, I gotta prepare. And so it's fine. Early season anyways. Lots of learning to come, and then hopefully I'll be able to be better prepared for more and bigger opportunities as they come.
All right, day 3. More than likely the last day. I mean, I think if I shoot 13 down, which would be the best round of the weekend, I get to 10 down, which right now is just inside the cut. And that means it's not going to be inside the cut after everybody else plays. This has been quite a learning experience. Just even a learning experience in like my expectations of myself, and then my expectations of what your expectations are for me as an audience. Because all the responses that I've been getting are all like, hey, you're there, you're doing it, like it's going to take experience, it's going to take time, it's a journey. And I don't know, sometimes I think like people don't see the long term, the vision of like, hey, this is years in the making. So ultimately, I'm just going to try to have a good experience today and learn from this and learn how to throw good shots with kind of these feelings. And your first week of doing something is always going to be harder. So, you know, it is what it is. Today's going to be cold and windy, so hopefully we can play fine. And of course, it's going to stop being windy for when the league card tees off, which, I mean, I don't care about. I'm not competing with the league card, but it'll be fun to watch them play the course in good conditions, and their scores seem ridiculous since everyone played in the super wind this morning. I forgot. They gave me a beating. When they gave it to me, it was like 80 degrees, and I was like, why did you give this to me? It's because they're smarter than I am. Oh, yeah. Whew. Ooh, warmer already, baby.
So final round, we're stepping up, feeling much more confident. I'm really remembering at this point that it's like, I have the skills to do this. I just need to find a way to do it in this pressure. And walking up to this round, I was trying to treat it like any other round. My tournament rounds and these rated rounds, which are more important to me, I treat them so differently than just my normal rounds. And then I play slightly differently. And so I was like, let me just try to treat it more like a normal round. I still warmed up well, but I was just trying to keep it a little more lighthearted. Of course, it's important to me, but that means that I should do what's best for the round, not take it too seriously, because taking it too seriously obviously has had its negativities. And so unfortunately, it was 42, 45, something super windy and freezing, and I didn't bring gloves because I didn't think it'd be like that in Texas, and it was like 80s the day before. And stepping up to hole number 1, I just kept thinking, don't shank it, don't shake it, don't shake it. And then I got those thoughts out of my head, luckily. Had my base ME in my hand. It was a tailwind, but I do shank it, like right OB. And I'm pitching up with the zone, missing a 30-footer, and taking a double bogey to start. I'm like, what the heck, dude? But luckily, compared to the last couple days, I was like, it's not any other round. I've started with bogeys before, and I still played well. There's 17 holes left. That's a lot of birdies out there. And so luckily, hole 2, ended up throwing basically a perfect drive, getting up and down, basically parking it. Hole 3, we had a slight tailwind, so I ended up throwing my S-Blend Chariot, which is one of my favorite discs right now, tomorrow. Just for the record. They couldn't inventory them today, but tomorrow. I love this stamp, dude. It's so sick. It's going to be part of a series. Birdie that one. Hole 4, I'll take a 4. Hole 5, end up taking a par. Hole 6, make a 20, 25-footer. Hole 7, I'm like, you know what? I'm going for it. I already fought my way back to 1 down through 6 holes. Let me see if I can get to 3, see if I can get an eagle, because I did get an eagle during a practice round. End up throwing a really good angle, but really bad height. Because of the wind, I think it would actually have fought out of it and swung back. And I can't quite get up and down. I try to throw my midnight prowl too. Don't turn it over quite enough. I had a very small gap to putt through, which you can't really see too much. And I thought that I couldn't throw it over the basket. And then I had a perfect line right over the basket. So I was like, what the heck is this? Very surprised. End up taking a 4. Hole 8, I'm able to get a birdie, 5'd it on the first day. Hole 9 was a couple of my favorite shots of the tournament so far, but this is the area where I'm just like, if I get out of the woods, even par, great. If I get some birdie looks, fine. But I end up throwing a very similar shot to the first day, except it doesn't filter through. It just kind of hits those trees and sits. And I took my Dynasty on a flip up forehand, which is one of my favorite shots, and I flipped it up so perfectly, and then it hit the last little danglers, dropped straight down, able to pitch up, take a par hole 10 as well, because I threw a pretty bad second shot. And hole 11, I missed a 25 foot putt, unfortunately. So I could have had another birdie there. And then hole 12 was nuts. I threw a very bad first shot because this is the hole that we were waiting for probably close to half an hour. We had to wait for, well, we were the last card, so we were right behind FPO, and we were last card because I was being smart, because if I'm last card, that means I get to watch Kristen play, and I don't have to pay, I had to pay for the tournament. I don't even have to pay for it. And so we were waiting on the FPO because hole 12, they were waiting, and then there was another card as well. There were like 3 cards on that hole, and we showed up, and we had to wait for them to get out. Threw a Roman instead of a Dynasty because it was a slight head right to left, and I was like, oh, okay, and I chip it, and don't really throw it super well. My second shot, I throw at Midnight Prowl 2 again, very similar to the shot on hole 7 from that kind of staggered stance. I throw it very similar, and it doesn't quite turn as much as I want then either. I think I just need a little more angle or just a little more work with that disc. Almost nailed the spotters. We don't have any footage of this, unfortunately, but this was a fun hole. I threw my Scepter on a forehand roller and rolled it to just outside of circle 2, where I had a very, very small gap.
Just rolling. Headwind kept it up.
Had a weird little stance, and I was like, let me just juice it through this gap and hope to park the basket. There's a headwind, kept it up, cash. So I was 3 strokes better on 2 holes. That's crazy. I just noticed that. On hole 8, I took a 5, and then I took a 2, and then I took a 7, and now I took a 4 on hole number 12 between days 1 and 3. So we get out to hole 13. We're still waiting a little bit more. Massive shout out to all of you guys who were there. I met so many of you, and your support means so much. And yeah, I'm just really blown away by the support that you guys give to me and the community that we've kind of grown here. And I don't know, it just means so much, and I'm just so grateful. So, hole 13, ripping headwind now, so the opposite wind of the first day. End up taking a birdie on 13, a birdie on 14, and then we're walking up to hole 15, and I have this conversation.
Wind is playing a little tough. Oh, there's Kristen. Launching it. Gotta get down. Never mind, it's Kristen, it's probably perfect. But wind is kind of straight ahead on this hole. A little left to right, so it'll actually keep it inbounds from the left, which is good if we're throwing like a backhand. I'm gonna stable up to my really stable Emperor. 4 holes to go for my tournament. Having a good round here. Wind is tough, but I'm feeling differently about my nerves. I'm having a more aggressive game plan, more like I can do it, and it's paying off. Very similar to 303 Open last year, my first MPO tournament. But we have a bad one on this hole, but that means our wind on the next 3 holes is gonna be significantly better. So hopefully it's not too windy for you to hear what I'm saying right now.
And honestly, at this point, I had worked my way back to 4 under par with 4 holes to play. I know that I'm probably not making the cut, but I'm like, let me just get a good round in on the Pro Tour and realize that I can do it. I have the abilities to. And as I was 4 down, looking at hole 16 into this ripping headwind, I was just thinking, we can protect this score. And that's the opposite of what I've been thinking the whole day, which was, I'm good enough to push. I'm good enough to push. I'm good enough to push. And after this round, I'll just let whatever throws show throughout the rest of this round as we talk. I was talking to my wife after the round. We're talking about playing safe. And she had noticed to me that like my playing safe sometimes is playing insecurely. And so I'll insecurely throw the safer shot, and it'll actually end up worse than if I was to throw my typical, not even like aggressive shot, just like my typical shot instead of a safe shot. And so I noticed that kind of my mentality shifted to, I got a solid round, let's protect it. And if we go par, this is something I literally said, this is great, we shot 4 down. Instead of like, how do I birdie this hole? How do I throw the best shot right now? And so I threw a really solid drive on hole 16, best drive of the group, and then I shanked my off shot into a tree because I was like trying to throw a safer shot. And I think if my mentality is let me get under the basket for birdie, all those equations of like, how do I throw this safe? How do I throw it correctly? They go through my head, and I'm not like, I wasn't shanking the disc, so I shouldn't be worried that I'm just gonna start shanking it at that point when I did it on hole 1 and then I didn't really do it again at all. Just the mindset shift on those last 4 holes I saw in myself and realized that if I would have continued to be quote unquote aggressive or just like playing for birdies, I probably would have shot another 1 or 2 under through those holes instead of shooting 1 over through the last 4. That being said, we shot 3 down, and this is what we had to say.
All right, just finished final round. Better. Bogey the last hole, unfortunately. Through OB, was able to get up and down. Hard like 3 of the last 4, which are all ones that I would have loved to have birdied. Missed some putts, missed some up shots, but we ended fine. I don't think we'll end up getting last, which is a win. I shot 3 down, which brings me back to even for the event. Finally got an under par round, which is good. Felt much better today than overall. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely not getting dead last. I might even get better than 100. We'll have to wait for everything to finalize. They're calling this round, well, no rating yet, but it's windier than the first day. Probably be around 1010, maybe 1005, I don't know. But
fine final round. Definitely a lot of strokes still left out there, but a lot of good learning experience. And finally put one kind of together. I don't play tomorrow. Definitely not. I'm 100th place.
All right, post missing the cup meal. What are we having?
We're having loser soup.
Good loser soup.
Yeah, last place soup's always good.
It gave me a lot of good momentum going into the Monday qualifier at Austin, where I'm going to have a practice round posted for you tomorrow, where I went and played it solo just really early on Monday before, honestly, most of the people had even gotten there, so that I could prepare for the qualifier, and then the qualifier will come at you on Thursday. So everyone who's asking for that, it'll be up live on Thursday. I know I teased it in my story on Instagram. I'm really excited to share that video with you guys. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means the world to me. I have these coming soon. I have my actual tour series coming soon. I have more stamp dropping soon. If you want to support me, my links will be down in the description, and these will be live tomorrow. So, you guys are the best. I'll see you soon. I'm grateful that this is a long journey and that the vast majority of you guys very much understand that. If I'm not playing well right now, it's okay. It's going to be a lot more time. Peace.